But I still remember when my mom was like, hey, now I'm broke. Then I asked my mom for 50 rand. Then my mom was like, hey, hey. You can imagine being a black female tapping in the space that is male dominated. It's not easy, especially that it's a space that is known for whites. I don't want to say this, but I know in black families sometimes it would say,
Kibuloi.
yeah. Also, you would find other kids, they're just normal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But however, you will see them sitting on the wheelchair.
Let me introduce to you the new kid on the block. Mel Lavi is a new skincare range that recently launched. It is for face and for body. We deal with hyperpigmentation, anti-aging, wrinkles, natural glow. We also deal with dark inner areas. We target dark inner thighs, dark armpits, dark neck, dark elbows, dark knees, you name it. We also have a shaving combo. This shaving combo deals with ingrowns and shaving bumps. Both men and women can use this good quality product shaving range. We've got good actives in our product from glycolic acid, hyaluronic acid, kojic acid, and many more. You can contact us on the WhatsApp number that is popping on the screen, or you can reach out to us on all our social media platforms. We are here for all your skin needs. Hi everyone, this is the Waking Wife, the Waking Woman podcast, and I'm your host, Promise Makunyana. This podcast, it's really about women working, women inspiring each other to work. I always say it's good to have a man do stuff for you, but it's much more better if you can also do stuff for yourself. So this is not just for business women. You can be a career woman, you can be whatever that you are, and you think that another woman can be inspired in your hustle. Come and write to us on the email address that is popping on the screen. Do not forget to put your number, preferably your WhatsApp number, so that we contact you once we vet your story. Guys, we do have a sister podcast on the very same channel. It's called O Narrative Podcast. That podcast is about marriage and family dynamics, and it airs on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. And this one that you're watching, it airs on Sundays at 6 p.m. One girl. Guys, today's another installment, and I'm sitting with another woman. I know how much you guys love this podcast, and you find it very, very, very motivating and inspirational. So the least you can do for this podcast is to hit that subscribe button. Look somewhere where it says subscribe. Subscribe. It's absolutely free, but it makes a whole difference on our side. It makes me to create content because everything has been paid for. So please just do me the honors and hit the subscribe button. It's free. Anyways, Zbo, how are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm good. Are you Zulu Ndebele?
My mom's Zulu and my late dad's Pedi.
So Mupedi must.
Yes.
Was your mom and your dad married?
Yeah.
From where are you? Pedi Waltogai?
So my dad is from Libueng, and then I was actually born and raised in the township of Soweto. But however, Mama is from Dlamini, Soweto as well.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast. And here we start with icebreakers, just for us to just relax and before we get into the conversation.
All right.
So I'm going to give you your first icebreaker. What is the best advice you ever heard?
Best advice. When you play with other kids,
Yeah.
sexual-wise, use protection.
I love that. Very important advice. That's good. And do you have kids?
Not as yet.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Are you going to have kids or it's not part of the
Yeah,
plan?
it is part of the plan, but 2 years down the line.
I love that for you, girl. Balapisa. Balapisa. Anyway, what is the best a book you've read that changed your life?
It's quite a lot, but I think the one that stood out, it's a Think and Grow
Think and Grow.
by who's this? I forgot the author, but also the one it was a book written by his late dad was also a politician. It has to do with black tax.
Black tags.
Yeah, it's called Black Tax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have black ticks?
I think we all do, eh?
Not all.
All. I'll
No.
say all.
Or maybe it's like at stages.
Yeah, I think so. Um, but it's something that's there, especially in the black communities,
Yeah.
where utla takes you away, hey?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you would teach, a skill you would teach
Just one skill. I think
that you would teach people?
I think it would be the leadership skills, right? Being a soft skill, but if it has to be something technical, I would say in the work that I do, in the line of the work that I do, like 3D designing or 3D printing, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And are you a night or a day person? And why?
To be honest, I'm not a day person as such, but however, being an entrepreneur, it's like you need to be flexible. But I'm someone who actually works best at night because I don't mind working till late and sleeping like midnight, but I don't want to be waking up early in the morning.
Morning.
That's just an issue with me.
Okay, so you're a night person,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. So
Okay.
true.
Lastly, why is it important for women to work for themselves?
Of course, it's having something that's your own and also being independent, and also money is power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean money's power? Break that down for us.
I mean, okay, even in the relationship, if we are not financially stable, there will always be hiccups, and fights and whatnot. But when things are smooth, financial stable and whatever, everything unfolds accordingly. You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is so true. Anyway, I already told people your name, Sibongile. Just tell us what you do. What do you do?
All right, so Sibongile is actually a young female from the township of Soweto. I was born and raised in the township of Soweto. I come from a family of 8 siblings and 10, including my late parents, and I'm a sixth child at home. So I come from a mixture of Zulu, where my mom is a Zulu and Uhlomuga, and then my late dad, Mungadi, from a Pedi family. And I started my primary school at Lol Primary School and went to my high school at Innerdale Secondary School. From there, obviously, my parents did not have much money to actually fund my studies, to go to varsity. I still remember then I had to opt and said, okay, rather I'll look for a job and try to study part-time. That's what I did. And then in July 2009, that's where I also lost my dad, just after my matric. Of course, things started, being tougher because both my parents were self-employed. Like my late dad transported kids to school and mom also used to sell sweets at school. So and they were like one, like as a team. So eventually, when my mom lost my dad, it was hard for her to also, continue with life and whatnot. Until in traditional families, that once you've lost your husband, you would be supposed to be wearing inzil and whatnot. So now my mom was forced to stay at home, and she wouldn't be able to go to school now and sell. You understand? So yeah, things started being tougher, but with God's grace, we actually managed because now it was only me and my 2 younger siblings that were still at school. And yeah, fortunately enough, I was able to also assist and play my part where I could, where especially my mom couldn't by that time. Yeah, and then the rest has been history. I am an engineer myself as an individual, and I started a company called Ukuhamba. Ukuhamba is actually an African word meaning mobility in English. It started back in 2018, so it was through a personal.
Before we get there, before we get to your business, who took you to school? Your mom was selling sweets at a school.
Yeah.
Who took you to school?
So it was both my mom and dad.
Sure.
Because I attended the same school where my mom was selling, and then of course it was until my grade 1 until my grade 7. So after grade 7 I had to go to high school. So for my high school now, my dad again was the one transporting us to school because I was attending at Innerdale Secondary School. Yeah, so my dad was the one was responsible, to take us at school. But then my mom was still selling at Loli Primary School, and then even my other younger siblings were still attending the same school where my mom used to sell.
Sure. Isn't it so amazing how Namara didn't cheat you, why did you so? Isn't it so amazing how our parents back in the days they would have little, but the things they did with little,
So true.
so amazing. That's why I'm like, pause. What? Selling sweets at school, and yo, wow, that's just so commendable.
I think in every household, if you have a strong support structure, it makes things more easier because I used to see how my late parents were a team. They were actually one. When
Yeah.
it came to business, it was one of the things where my mom would be like, Mngadi, and my mom used to call my dad by saying him, Mngadi, let's do this,
Yeah.
And then my dad would be like, okay, because of course my dad had a means of transportation. So Beitlabantore, it's after school, dad will also go to Shawela station and then they will sell like bopatata,
Sure.
your meal, yeah. So it was that. And then from there, we would be able to jump in during the week, but some other times we wouldn't because due to homeworks and also I was playing soccer by then. I love soccer and all that, So we had other extramural activities that we took part. So it was not easy, but however, they would actually maintain that, lifestyle. And then, yeah, man, they were able to raise all of us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And you mentioned that your mom and your dad were a team.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's so important because if you are together and you've got little, you can be able to multiply that little.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, you go to university. Did you go to university or a college to study engineering?
So, or engineering, yes, varsity. It was
Yeah.
UJ, yeah.
And you graduated.
Yeah.
Your parents paid for you.
No, they didn't.
You got a bursary.
I had to self-fund myself now.
Oh, wow. Where did you get the money? What did you do?
I just had to actually look, I was in the retail. I moved from the retail, I started getting doing short courses and did marketing. And then from there, although I was in the commerce field now, because I was forced to, although it was not something that I was I'm interested in, because from my grade 1 until my matric, I've been a science person.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to see myself in one of the engineering side or either the medical side, but not commerce. But however, just for me to be able to get a job quicker,
Yeah.
the only option it was that to get something under the commerce side and then see how can I actually grow myself as an individual. So that's what I did.
So have you ever practiced as like 9 to 5? Have you ever went to a 9 to 5?
Yeah, I did.
Where was your first?
My last employment, it was at iShow Financial Services. So I was a team leader there. We into also sales and we had your long-term and your short-term insurance, yeah.
What year was that?
It was, I think, 2016 or 17, because I remember resigning on 28 Jan 2018, yeah.
You remember that vividly?
Yes.
Why did you resign? Were you going full time into business or you were just like, I'm over this?
To be honest, I had no idea, but I just felt like this is it. I'm just tired, and maybe it was of career changes. I don't know, but I just felt the exhaustion, and I was like, no, I think I need to venture into something else. But however, I did not know what is it that I actually wanted to do. But before that, while I was still also employed, I actually started another initiative that was called Soweto Young Women Empowerment, where I will actually call different individuals into one space and then actually help them,
Help them with what?
I'll bring them in one spaces and then I'll invite certain stakeholders or different public people that can actually come and actually inspire them, because at oftentimes we don't have the platforms where we can be able to express ourselves, and also get inspired, especially when you come from the township. Yeah, so I used to do that. Then I think maybe that's what actually inspired me to say that, you are capable. You can still go and do more. Then I remember then in 2018, I was like, this is it. But I resigned obviously with no saving, with no nothing, with no plan and in hand. But I still remember when my mom was like, hey, now I'm broke. Then I asked my mom for 50 rand. Then my mom was like, hey, what is this now?
Hey.
Then you come and ask me for
ask
50
me.
rand. You understand? But I didn't take it as an insult, instead I laughed. And then she actually eventually gave me the 50 rand. So, but then I was like, no, I just wanted to attend another workshop. She asked what workshop. Then I said, you will see, But then I remember then I was like, okay, this is what I want to pursue, entrepreneurship now full time. But then I also understood that, okay, of course, now if I pursue this full time, I don't have any source of income,
Yeah.
know. So I remember also I tried to raise other funds. Then I was able to procure like those one plate fryers for chips fryers. Then I started selling like fish and rations, at home as well. And then it actually started, generating more money as well. A day I would be able to make like 200 rand, 250 and whatever. Then from there, then I was like, okay, let me just focus on this thing of a business because at least now I'm getting something though,
Yes.
Then indeed, but I remember I had a gum infection. So I would say my gum infection actually led me to my dreams because my doctor actually referred me to one of the local hospitals to say that I should get an X-ray. So when I got my X-ray, I was booked for an X-ray, but I couldn't like do my X-ray on the day because that's where I actually witnessed how people struggle to access prosthetic, especially in the public sector. So and access to mobility is an issue in our country. For me, it never made any sense, until I had to literally forget about myself. I was ill myself as an individual, but I was like, it's not about me now. Tomorrow it could be me or one of my loved ones, Let me just try to understand. And I intervene. And the patient was saying he's been on the waiting list for more than 5 years trying to access this with no help at hand, And for me, it never made sense because I believe that when our people go to hospital, they will be extremely assisted, And then one of the surgeon was so gently and so friendly and polite, approachable. He said it's true what the patient is saying. Then I said, but how possible is that? He said, it's due to lack of skills, lack of resources, and also relying on exports and imports. And not all hospitals can actually produce this. So it tends to be a challenge as well. So that's when I started saying, okay, one way or the other, there must be a way that one can solve the problem. But I didn't know how can I actually best solve that problem. But then I remember the day I just left the hospital, I did not even take my X-ray. When I actually got home, that's when I started noticing more people that are living with disabilities. And then I started engaging, because at oftentimes it's like whenever we are able, we tend to take a lot of things for granted,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
also look down on people that are living with disability. And then when I started engaging with them, the feedback that I got from them, it was the same as the patient that I met at the hospital. Then clearly that's where I started realizing clearly there is a problem, 2018, 2019, I started doing my R&D, research and development, tried to understand more in the sector and whatnot. And I think 2020, when I was saying, I said, no, I'm ready now. Let me register this, and have an entity. Then COVID happened.
Before we go into COVID, I'm trying to understand. When you came out of, I'm now telling on myself now. When you got out of the car, I looked at you. I looked at your feet.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you are an amputee. We call it an amputee.
Yes,
eh?
yes.
With a prosthetic leg.
Yes.
But I'm seeing you're just walking in. And so somebody that is not even your family
Yeah.
inspired you to go into that business.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah. Just that.
Sure. And how do you I almost want to say you are a big dreamer because, or maybe I'm a shallow dreamer. Like maybe I just dream here because how do you think about starting a prosthetic business? It's almost as if it's something the government must do. It's something a rich person must do. It's just too far for me.
Yeah, so true.
How do you think about that? Like, how do you think how possible is that even?
It is possible because here I am,
Yeah.
so it is possible. But I think, like I said, it's that we tend to take a lot of things for granted, especially when we are able, But whenever you sit with these people, you can see that they're also normal. It's just that they lost their limb losses due to, different challenges, be it due to accident, be it due to a disease or illnesses,
Sure.
So, yeah, I think for me, it also resonates a lot with me, because if you're someone who loves to help others, it will come handy to you, It's not like you're doing something that's within your business, but it's something that's also close to your heart.
Sure.
Yeah.
So now when you start to do research, what do you find out?
I started finding out, like there's lack of accessibilities, pricing, So it's like currently the demand of affordable prosthetic limbs is currently higher than what is available in the market, Where our people that come from black communities, neither the low income communities, they don't have access to this due to funds, And then you started realizing that, other, especially when you look at let's say for children, it's sad because what happens if your child is born with a limb loss?
Eish.
Then you are also unemployed. How are you going to be able to fund that prosthetic for a child to be able to go to school and whatnot,
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's what actually, provoked me and said, clearly there is something that one can actually try to actually do. And let's see how we can actually leverage these digital technologies just to also fasten the turnaround time, but also make it more accessible for our people, Yeah.
And COVID hit while you have just registered your business.
Yeah, that was 2020. So obviously then we like, the movement, we restricted and but I still remember though, but my late mom, because she also believed in me, she actually encouraged me to still pursue it regardless. Then I said, okay, but how am I going to get neither one of the 3D printers? Then she was like, no, let's try to order it maybe online, even if it takes for months, whatever, but as long as you have tried to order it online. Indeed, that's what I did, and I was able to get one. And then we started. Then I said, now I have it was, I think the size was the size from the bottom to this. Then I said, okay, now where I'm going to put the machine? Then she was like, putting the machine is not an issue. So what we will do whenever we, at night, like in the evening, we'll dish. Once we're done dishing, you just take the
What
machine
is
and
dishing?
like,
Let's say like you're speaking with one of your colleagues.
okay, let's say like just after we've served supper or dinner.
Oh, dishing. I'm thinking. Okay.
Yes. So my mom was like, no, once you have served dinner or supper, what we'll do, we'll just remove everything from the cupboard and you just take the machine and just plug the machine there. And okay, for me, it was like, okay, I don't get what you're saying, but in any way, let's give it a shot. And definitely it actually worked, Then that's where I started working on different, designs, prototyping,
Sure.
and see how best can I actually try to come up with something. Then I tried to convince several stakeholders, even online, whatever. And then 2020, 2021, not much happened. But I remember 2020 when we were like, oh, now finally we are breathing, COVID no more. And then that's when now people started acknowledging, the work that I was actually trying to do or whatever that I was trying to create. Then now I started approaching different stakeholders. And I remember one of the stakeholders, they said, clearly there is a market for you, there's a gap that you actually identified.
Yeah.
But it would be great if you can build something that's more tangible, something that's functional, that can actually convince us, to say, let's buy into this idea. So now I had to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, but now with this machine, how do I produce the entire leg? Now again, it was another challenge for me because I don't even have your 100 and something K to at least procure the bigger ones, whatever, So that was a bit of a challenge.
How much did it go for, the machines?
They're expensive. Like if you want like the high end and whatnot, you can have something like above 200K to 300K. It actually depends, But I remember then I was like, oh, okay, maybe. I had a conversation with one of my friend, a male friend. Then he was like, no, man, I'm sure we can work around this. Maybe you can just measure the size, maybe from here to the below the knee, and then let's just try to produce it piece by piece, I was like, oh, clearly now you're making sense. And that's how we were able to actually do our first prototype, Let's produce it bit by bit and assemble everything together once done. Then indeed, that's what I did. Then now I started, going to different stakeholders with that. And now that's where people started believing in the whole innovation.
Do you have it here? Did you not
No.
bring it?
I just
What is in your bag?
It's just my laptop. He actually reminded me. He said how we should have told you to bring something. I was like,
I'll tell these ladies that are helping me to always remind you guys, because
okay,
it's always great for people to see. But I guess I will also tell them to look for a picture on your social media.
yeah, that's what I said. I can even share the visuals.
Okay, yeah. You will share the visuals with the person that invited you.
Yeah,
Then they
okay,
will share
cool.
it with the production.
No worries.
So then, who do you go to? Hospitals? Do you go to go and tell them about your innovation?
So what happens that our target audiences, we have different target audiences, and so we like design according to the client's requirements, and specification. Because also what also inspired us to do what we are actually doing is that what we understand in the market, they just do like you one size fit all kind of thing, and also just because you actually need it, it's like you don't have a choice. So that's why we are also preaching, to say that it shouldn't be about that.
Tailor-made.
Yes, let it be tailor-made and let it cater according to your needs as well. If you are someone that is into sports, let's create something that actually resonates with you. So that's what we actually do. And then, yeah, I guess, man, the rest is actually history. Hey.
Sure. So, do you have like clients now?
Yeah. So how we actually work, it's like you as an individual, you can actually come to us, and then if it's your below or above the knee, we're able to actually do like the measurement, the scanning, and then we just have a discussion with you. You tell us maybe you want it in purple or green, whatever the case may be, and maybe you need the prostate covered, whatever. Then we actually able to design or produce according to that. And then that's like for individual. But then also if also we're working with hospitals, because with hospitals as well, we are actually trying to also teach them these technologies, so that it will be great if they can also have it in especially in the public hospitals as well, because we know that they are not people that are more quicker to adapt into technology, but
Yeah.
it will actually help a lot, especially that they're actually trying to solve or help our people that can't actually afford. So it would be great if we it's like when we work with them, we become their manufacturing partner,
Yes.
or also like offer them like a service. Maybe we just go there to one of the hospital, and then if they need assistance of us, like scanning their casting and whatever, we are able to actually do that for them, and so that they can have it in the form of a digital. Then if they want us to just produce that socket for them, we are able to actually do that. Yeah. And then also like for special schools as well, because there are schools that specialize with disabilities. So we also partner up with them. Then they have this thing that is called like assistive device fund. Then that's where we are able to also access the funds from. And also so we're still having conversation with your militaries, because we know them also, they look at their limb losses due to civil wars as well. So those are also our target audiences, and looking at minds, because also employees get hurt and injuries while they're still at work, So yeah, those are our target audiences.
Sure. And your business is big. Like it's big.
It is big, but however, as the challenges that we are also faced with is like, you can imagine being a black female tapping in the space that is male dominated. It's not easy, especially that it's a space that's known for whites.
Yeah.
And also, being a black South African, the first black female in South Africa to do this, it's not easy. So there will always be red tapes, So I think our market is big, but however, currently the challenge is access to market. That's been an issue, So we haven't like been able to chow in half of the pie, but we just still chowing piece by piece. But slowly but surely, eventually we'll get there.
Does the government know you?
Yeah. We had a meeting. It was, I think, sometime last year. We had a meeting with your Chris and Barokwane Hospital and your Charlotte Makleke. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any talks in like adapting you into?
Yeah. That's what we actually. But however, yeah, last year we had another break in, so we had some of our equipment that were missing. So then we just had to put that on hold. But yeah, they are, because what we also love is that there are people that also believe in us, and it's so great when you also have the public sector that are willing to,
To partner with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you guys? Where are your offices? Where do you operate from?
So we are based in Randburg and we also are based in Soweto.
It's two walk-in offices
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where anybody can walk in, and
Yes.
it's like doctors' offices.
No, it's not like more as doctors' offices, but just for people have been like kind of scam, if I have to say it, but just
Okay.
for
Point of contact.
yes, yeah, they are actually welcome to just come through and see the space where we work at. But then, however, we have like different working stations because with us it's more of sort of this kind of a setting where you just come, maybe you just greet and do say what is it that you're actually inquiring about and whatnot. But then if we have to do the actual work, it depends. Since there are people don't have access to mobility, so you can understand, especially the ones in the rural areas,
Yeah.
they can't actually move and whatnot. So it's either we'll drive to them based on the appointment. And then if it's also confirmed, then when we go there, we do the consultation, and then that's where we also do all the measurements and whatnot. Then we get to the office, then we start doing the actual work of the designing and whatnot. Yeah.
Who are you working with? Who are your partners or your employees?
So currently we're a team of 6, and then we have different partners for different purposes, where we have your strategic partners as well that will actually help us, to access the market. Others, they come in as financial supporters. Others, they come in like non-financial. So, yeah.
I want to check what they've sent me a link to your. So do you is it like steel or cast? Like
No. It's not still. So with the still, like for one, it actually depends because we have different users. Let's say if you are a first-time users, so for strength, other people would prefer something that has a metal so that it can be, strong in terms of the strength. Especially imagine if,
Pistorius.
no, not Oscar's Pistorius ones. You would find they actually differ. You'll have a standard one. So let's say the standard one. The standard one is the ones that you see like it's the normal ones. The ones that you are able to access it in your public hospital, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. And then you have the one for Oscar Pistorius. Those ones are known as high performance prosthetics, because and then they also differs even if they're high performance prosthetics. Others are bionic, others are robotics prosthetics, and others are like your sea leg. They actually differ. Yeah, it also depends when it comes to funds, to have enough funds to actually fund it yourself. But most the ones that have the high performances one, it's either the person has benefited from the road accident fund, or maybe the person, he or she is actually coming from a family that are able to afford. If not, maybe the person has a medical aid. Then in that way, the medical aid, be that it is discovered, whatever, if they feel that they want to work with you on this and they tell you this is what the clients want, then you are able to actually produce that and give it to the client.
I wanted to ask if you also work with medical aids, because other people, they don't necessarily have the cash, but they do have medical aids.
Yeah. But then now with the medical aids, it's what we are also trying to bring on board. We are trying to also have kind of a scheme that will also cater for those that can't afford. Because now currently medical aid, you can't be on a medical aid meanwhile you're also not employed.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. So what are your price ranges? Just obviously depends on patient to patient.
Yeah, it depends with patients to patients. And then, but however, it's like we are 70% cheaper than what the market is actually offering,
What is the market offering?
So like currently as we speak in South Africa, not just in South Africa, but global, that's how it is, in order for a person, if you are living with someone who's having a disability at home, it means we need to have like 50K upwards, so that we can be able to help Sibongile Unida Utando to have access to mobility, you understand? So from 50K above, even $1 million. It actually depends. Yeah, that's how disability is expensive, And then with us, we are able to actually get a prosthetic that is lesser than that amount. But however, it actually depends with the design as well. Let's say if it's something, the entire thing that you just want it customized and using like, recyclable or affordable material, we make it more affordable in that sense. But also, like I said, with the metal, it also depends. Let's say if you're a first-time user, then you still have a fear, to use a prosthetic because you actually used your normal leg. Then also those, in most cases, those are individuals that would prefer something that has a bit of a steel or metal, for balancing purposes, and for strength wise. But then you also need to also remember that it actually depends with the imputation, because if it's above the leg, definitely would need something that has stronger strength, because now your entire body is actually relying on this leg, But if it's like you're below, if it's something like here or something like here, then eventually there it's something that it's so easy to do. It doesn't even need a metal, because now it's not like your entire body is actually relying on that foot or that, yeah.
So, do you also do the hands, or it's just legs?
The hands, the braces, and even
Braces, what do you mean?
yeah, let's say sometimes we find other people that are not like amputated, but they're actually living with physical injuries, or physical limitations, meaning maybe the hand can be twisted, whatever, but you will have this thing just to balance the arm or the finger. Yes, that's what we're also able to actually assist, even their clothing as well.
Did you ever reach out to Black Coffee?
Not as yet.
Do you want to? Maybe we can connect you to him. This podcast goes a long way, Maybe he can fund you guys,
We will appreciate that. If the podcast can reach out to
Black Coffee, yes. I don't know. Maybe it's something that he can be interested in funding, Yeah. So, are they durable? How long will I have the prosthetic leg for?
So the lifespan of a prosthetic, it's 5 years, right? But however, with kids, it actually differs, because with kids, they actually like outgrow it, So every 6 months or a year, they actually have to change it.
Sure.
Yeah, with kids, it's like that.
Yeah.
But with an adult, if you're still in the same weight, same size, same height, then the lifespan of a prosthetic is 5 years. But then now, since that we are using these advanced technologies, what happens? Let's say maybe your circuit now is an issue. We can actually do the refit or, recreate the socket, but use the same mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Meaning that it don't cost so much anymore.
Yeah. Yes.
And we've got kids that are just born with who needs prosthetics from birth.
Yeah.
Are you no? I want to ask you correctly. Are there kids that just or let me just people that gets born without like a leg?
Yeah.
What are they genes or what?
It has to do with the genes, and also I don't want to say this, but I know in Black families sometimes it would say
Kibuloi.
yeah, and also the other thing is maybe let's say you've been hiding that you've been having an affair with someone within the family, and then it happened and whatnot. They will be like, this is a curse.
Oh.
You understand? And that is why the child now is disabled and whatnot. But apart from that, indeed, you do get kids that are actually born with limb losses. This is due to the genes. And there's also another illnesses and the diseases. I just forgot what is it, but there is also that also cause that. And also sometimes, I'm not sure you have noticed, there are also other kids that have the full limbs of the body, but however, their foot would like face the same directions, right? And then rona hangata re gola batho una makweke what, but amakweke like ayahluka because others has a shebile so those kids they need to wear like club foot,
Yeah.
So club foot, it's like it's those braces, meaning that they also help them because ankere masapo the time asalingwana. It's easy for her, they're soft. It's easy for a hands-on trainer, even though the kid can have those bracket leg, but one way or the other, it will form shape. But however, with us in Black communities, because with lack of information as well, we tend to sit the thing and then until it gets worse and whatnot. Yeah.
My little sister's child has, it's not bad, but the foot is like this, and then she got the boot that he wears. He's still young. He's 3.
Yeah, that's a moon boot.
Yeah, but then she feels like the child is. She feels like it's painful. and she doesn't make the child to wear that. And my mother's always saying, the leg is going to be like this forever. Whereas if she puts on
So
the
true. She needs to.
yeah,
She needs to, because when you're a child, your bones are not that strong, but it's easy and it's curable by then, Unlike when you're an adult. When you're an adult, it becomes an issue. Because also you would find other kids, they're just normal, right?
yeah.
But however, you will see them sitting on the wheelchair. So you also need to notice those kids. So those kids are actually suffering from something that's called muscular dystrophy. So muscular dystrophy, it's like you have your entire human body parts, but however, you have weakened muscles. So, and hangata, those kids, they don't grow until 18. They die.
So that means your muscles here are not strong.
Yeah.
They can't carry the whole body.
Yes, that is why then you ask yourself, Mara,
What's
this
happening
person
here?
has it's that.
Are you in partnership with surgeons?
Not surgeons, but what we do, we actually like work with your physiotherapy, because let's say if you're a first time user, obviously we're used to you not having one, or also you are used to your both legs, So imagine now that you need to adapt and have another lifestyle. So it's really frustrating at oftentimes,
Yeah.
So physiotherapies are there just to help you, train you to be able to work with it. And then also the certified prosthesis, because they're the one who actually do the assessment, to say it's okay, this one is amputated due to sugar diabetes. The weight of this person is this much, and then this is what this person needs and whatnot. So that's part of the consultation, actually. Yeah.
And how's the business now? Where is your business now, as you stand?
So I would just say scale, hey? Not growth, but yeah, we are just there. We are there. We are there. Compared to how we actually started,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we are not we are not where we wanna be. But slowly but surely, with focus, and also aligning our vision, I think we would go far. Although the whole aim is to say that we are intentional, being local. Although we still want to see ourselves playing in the SADC region, your continental Africa and before globally. Because, I think for us, we just want to help those that can't actually afford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so far, you're doing just that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where can people find you? Where can people find you?
So via email, they can actually email us at info@tukhamba.co.za. And then we also have a website, but however now our website is still busy with it, because we're gonna bring on our online store, people,
Nice.
especially for people that are based in other towns and provinces, especially when it comes because we also target the ones that have the existing prosthetic legs, Then if maybe the person wants a prosthetic cover, whatever, the person can just, select there and say, this is what I want, and giving us all the dimensions, then we are able to do so. And then the person can be able to order that online. And also we are into their clothing as well. We do the wheelchair covers, we do the prosthetic sleeves, and we also do your pants. Yeah.
Sure. Did you ever meet that person that inspired you to start the business?
Not as yet.
It
Not
would
as
be
yet.
great to meet them and to see if they have a leg now, prosthetic leg now.
Yeah, I think. But the thing is, remember by then it was something that just happened so fast,
True.
unexpectedly.
True.
So yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it will be great.
Yeah,
Anyway, anything else that you'd like to share with us or share with the public?
I'm not sure, hey?
Yeah.
Apart from just saying that we are just the multi-award winning,
Please tell us about your accolades. Tell us about your accolades as we are closing.
No. I think as news into we can just brag about it, but also as much as we also brag, we shouldn't forget God, hey? because like I'm telling you, it was just all an idea. I did not even know where to start. I had limited resources, especially coming from a township of Soweto, where we don't even know what is the 3D printer, whatever, what is the 3D scanner, you can imagine. So, but then with God's grace, here we are, and especially that we are doing it as Black kids.
Yeah.
It is inspiration on its own. That's why, like, I want to see more kids tapping in the space of science and engineering, because it does not make sense where we are able to explore all these machines where you are from Soweto, then you need to travel all the way to CSIR, in Pretoria. On the other hand, you have this idea, you have this innovation, but you don't even have money to actually hoop the taxi to go to Pretoria. It does not make sense. But like I said, man, we've
Awards? Tell us.
okay.
Don't be modest. Tell us about your awards.
So the list is just endless. But I
Wow.
think what actually stood up for me, it was the award that I received in 2022 or 2023, when I was actually recognized as a global leader I was recognized as a global leader in innovation.
Wow.
And then also being recognized as a top 25 emerging social innovator across Africa. I think those actually means a lot, because it shows that even if your own country does not appreciate you that enough, but there are people out there that are actually noticing what is it that you're actually trying to do.
Yeah. And when you're going to start now going out, they will be saying, oh, she's South African. But we did not see you when you were here.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But yeah, the list is just endless.
Yeah.
But now I'm glad also, even our own country is just starting to appreciate us. But the only thing is just that we have a lot of red tapes, especially in our own country. It's like you need to know who in order for you to be, know. Yeah. So apart from that, no, we are just okay. Slowly but surely we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
And as we hold these conversations for people, because our audience is global, we are doing these bits in holding these conversations, and maybe our conversations might land in another person that might actually help our guests, Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
We really appreciate your time. You are just challenging. Now you are challenging me, because that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not a deep thinker, because I'm like, who thinks about making a prosthetic leg,
I think there's no such. I think it's nalento yokusaba.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And there's this poem that, what is that poem? Yeah, Aquila and the bear were born to be, what? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Sibongile. I really appreciate you and your time.
It's a pleasure.
Guys, take this moment to hit the subscribe button. We'll continue to give you the content, but the content comes at the cost, and the cost for you to just do your part is just to subscribe, and it's absolutely free on your side. See you in the next episode. Bye.